Welcome to the show. We are nearing the end of the week, and Anne is so excited because we're one day closer to Mole. Welcome to the show. Let's get you up to speed with some news that you could use right now.
Hey there, beautiful people. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Thank God it's almost Friday. Join us for the next hour and a half as we bring you laughter, inspiration, and stories and conversations that matter. How are you this morning, Pao?
I have been driving to Pampanga
I know.
every day.
My goodness.
And,
you are so busy.
It's not bad. The traffic's not
really?
bad. I'm there in an hour.
What time do you usually travel? Because ganyan ka
noon,
lagi. You always say
lunch.
there's no traffic, and I'm like, what?
Around lunchtime?
Lunchtime?
NLEX, yeah. It's
Ah,
not
okay,
bad.
okay.
It's not bad.
Maybe it's not rush hour kasi. That's why.
Yeah, perhaps, yeah. But then, in general, even when I get to San Fernando, it's also not bad. I go there, I have lunch with my dad. Obviously, they're there for the Gilas Pilipinas youth team that's doing well sa Gilas Pilipinas as a Siaba. And hopefully they end up with the gold as it's expected. But yeah, no, I mean, like, I've been enjoying going back and forth to Pampanga, pero I haven't had, hindi pa nagsisig doon.
Sisig?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Like,
Nagla-lunch ka na doon, hindi ka nag-order ng sisig?
Oo, kasi sa mga katabi kasi ng hotel ng Gilas, hindi naman siya local delicacies. Kaya,
okay.
I mean, like, it's fine. But then, yeah, I mean, it's good to be traveling, but it's also at the same time, you know, it's not as far. So it's a great excuse to get out of Metro Manila. But something that is happening in Metro Manila that I'm super excited about is that may mga coffee rave na pala dito.
Yes,
diba?
coffee rave.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know, it's different from the raves you attended, I'm sure.
Yeah, ito na naman tayo. Turo mo na naman yung generation ko. But anyway, I'm curious about this.
Oh.
Yeah, it's totally different. The party scene naman from generations ago are really different na eh. The party scene is different now.
Yeah, I mean, like, yung generation ko.
Feeling ko nga, baka hindi ka rin masyadong makarelate because the young ones now,
yeah,
I don't know. Parang,
they drink coffee, not alcohol. Weirdos. But then, it's funny because the time it happens, diba? Like, it's not during after work. Dati, naalala ko, back in the day, pumunta akong Fiamma at Ponticello or kung saan-saan. Ito naman si Anne sa Mars. Faces. Di ba? I don't know, saan ka ba dati?
Hindi na alam ng ibang viewers natin yung mga ganong
There are some people pointing at the TV right now. Oh, Mars! Faces! Strums! Ganon.
Ganon ba? Nabutan ko Emba.
Emba, oh my God. Emba. Oo. Ako naman, Onco or Aracama. Oh my gosh. Those places.
Oh my goodness. But now it's different. So instead of alcohol, people prefer coffee.
Oo.
And then partying before 5 p.m. It's crazy.
I could only imagine, shot tayo pero espresso. But I don't know, I'm so curious about that.
Ano bang mas mahal, coffee or alcohol? Diba?
Oo, and then...
So, sino mas malaking budget? Yung dati, getting drunk on alcohol or now partying with coffee? Kasi coffee can get very expensive.
Yeah, it can get very expensive. Yeah. But let's be fair, alcohol also. Pero also, when I was in college, dati yung mas mura, mas okay back then. But then, syempre, as time goes by, hindi yung mga tiyo mong nararamdaman mo the next day, parang lasing ka pa rin. But it is just one of those things. But we don't encourage all of that, by the way.
Of course.
Let's focus, especially with what we're talking about next, because we're going to be talking about driving.
Oh, yeah.
And you never drink and drive. So let's see what's happening right now.
I think it's too early to drink, too early in the morning. But right now, let's check the situation in major roads at this hour. Here is what's happening along EDSA Quezon Avenue flyover. On the left side of your screens are the vehicles going to Quiapo. We're seeing light to moderate traffic on that stretch. Opposite lane, right side are the vehicles headed to Quezon Memorial Circle. Light to moderate traffic also on that area. Now this time, let us take a look at EDSA White Plains. On the left side of your screens, you're seeing vehicles going to Shaw Boulevard. So if you're headed southbound, already looking a bit busy. We're seeing moderate traffic on that lane. On the opposite side, right side are vehicles heading to Cubao. No problem yet as of this hour. Now, heads up to motorists. The expanded vehicle number coding scheme is in full swing. It's a Thursday, so vehicles with license plates ending in 7 and 8 should be off the road right about now until 10 a.m. and again later from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now, what's the weather going to be like this Thursday? Our weather guy, Paolo, has today's forecast from Weather HQ. Take it away, Pao.
Thank you so much, Anne. Let's take a look at what weather systems are currently affecting the country. Now, we start off with something a bit different. A southwesterly wind flow is currently influencing the western sections of northern Luzon, bringing warm and moist air from the southwest. Now, as a result, the Ilocos region, Batanes, Pabuyan Islands, Bataan, Zambales, and Palawan can all expect generally cloudy skies accompanied by scattered rain showers and thunderstorms. Now, these conditions may bring sudden downpour, gusty winds, and possible localized flooding, especially in the low-lying areas of these regions. Now, meanwhile, for Metro Manila and the rest of the country, there will be fair weather that will prevail for most of the day. However, partly cloudy skies may develop with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms likely during the late afternoon to evening hours due to the localized convection. Now, be prepared for brief but heavy rains and lightning activity throughout the region as well. Now, let's take a closer look at how the southeast wind pattern will influence the heat based on Pag-asa's most recent heat index forecast. Now, topping this chart is Masbate City, sweltering under an extreme heat index of 44 degrees Celsius, a level where outdoor exposure can quickly become dangerous. Now, several locations are also feeling the heat with a 43 degrees Celsius heat index, including Aparing, Cagayan, Tuguegarao in Cagayan as well, Camiling in Tarlac, and Butuan in Agusan del Norte. Other parts of the country that are close behind with a 42 degrees Celsius heat index rating include Dagupan in Pangasinan, Bacnote in La Union, Iba, Zambales, Daat, Camarines Norte, and Virac, Catanduanes. Also joining the 42-degree heat index club are Pili, Camarines Sur, Borongan in Eastern Samar, Maasin in Southern Leyte, Dipolog in Zamboanga del Norte. While fewer areas are now in the official danger zone, the escalating heat still poses significant health threats, including heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Stay hydrated, limit time under the sun, and take every step to keep cool and safe. Now, as for the sea conditions and our coastal waters, according to Pag-asa, there are currently no gale warnings in effect. Now, seas across the country remain generally calm with light winds and gentle waves expected in most coastal areas. Fishermen and seafarers are strongly encouraged to monitor the latest weather updates before setting out to sea. And remember, safety should always be your top priority while out on the water. Now, that is it for Weather HQ at the moment. And back to you.
Thank you so much, Pao, for that weather update. Now on to our top stories this morning. President Bongbong Marcos dismisses calls for his resignation, saying there is no basis to do so. This comes after the chief executive ordered his cabinet members to submit their courtesy resignation. He explained that his so-called bold reset meant to overhaul the cabinet after its lackluster performance in the midterm elections.
The secretaries, I think, all of them, some have to be moved around, some have chosen to leave or no longer think they can contribute. But in any case, we are looking at the problem deeply. Siguro by now, I don't do things pang optics. If there is a problem, I like to fix it. So that's what we are doing. So expect us to be doing a rigorous performance review, not only at the cabinet level, but even deeper.
President Marcos plans to revive the office of the Cabinet Secretary, which he dissolved back in 2022. According to the political website, former DILG Chief Benhur Abalos is Marcos's top pick for the position. However, Abalos will have to shadow on an interim appointee due to the one-year ban on appointing losing candidates. Politico also reports the current special assistant to the president, Anton Lagdameo, will be removed from his post as part of the president's bold reset of the government. Lagdameo is allegedly being blamed for the underperformance of the Allianza candidates this recent midterm election.
President Marcos says he is confident that the impending trial of Vice President Sara Duterte in the Senate will not lead to political chaos. But PBBM reiterates impeachment is out of the question.
I didn't want impeachment. Lahat ng kakampi ko sa Kongreso hindi nag-file ng impeachment complaint. Yung mga nag-file ng impeachment complaint, hindi mo masasabing kaya kong utusan o pagsabihan na ito yung gagawin mo. So, why do I have to keep explaining that I did not want impeachment?
This comes amid concerns that the administration is teaming up with the Liberal Party in the upcoming trial. Party list representatives Chel Jokno and Laila De Lima are the latest additions to the House prosecution panel. But Iloilo 3rd District Representative Lawrence Defensor, who's also part of the prosecution team, says the president should stay hands-off when it comes to impeachment talks.
The president should not be involved in the impeachment. And I'm glad to hear that the president, as the head of the executive department, will not interfere with the impeachment process. As the president is the most powerful man in the country, he will exert undue influence on the senator judges, and we want the senator judges to act independently, free from any influence from the executive department.
Vice President Sara Duterte arrived in Doha, Qatar for a Thanksgiving event with the Filipino community ahead of her flight to The Hague to visit her father, detained former President Rodrigo Duterte. Filipinos flocked to the Our Lady of the Rosary Church for a Thanksgiving Mass with the Vice President. VP Sara has earlier pointed out that votes from overseas Filipino workers significantly contributed to her win in the 2022 elections. She then visited the Villaggio Mall with her mother, Elizabeth Zimmerman, and Senator Amy Marcos, who was invited to a gathering by Filipinos there. This is VP Sara and Senator Amy's first appearance together since the elections. The Vice President is expected to return to the Philippines on June 4, a day after the Senate convenes as an impeachment court for her trial.
Meanwhile, the Senate lays down the activities for VP Sara's impeachment trial. The same day Congress resumes its session on June 2, the House prosecution panel will be allowed to read the articles of impeachment against VP Sara. Senator judges will take their oath on June 3rd, with Senate President Teves Escudero serving the presiding judge. After this, VP Sara will be sent a summons and will be given 10 days to respond. Senate spokesperson Attorney Arnel Banya says the impeachment trial is likely to begin after PBBM's State of the Nation address on July 28th.
As VP Sara's impeachment draws near, in an interview on BNC's Agenda, Senate spokesperson Attorney Arnel Banyas says he expects the trial to proceed as usual despite its uncommon circumstance.
Ang worry ko po ay ito po itatawid na po sa 20th Congress pag makatapos na po ang SONA. Ang sabi po ni Senate President Teves Escudero, ito po ay sa malamang po sa July 30 na, kung saan manunumpa po ang mga bagong halal na senador ng 20th Congress.
Apo.
Pero pwede rin po na kung meron man po silang ibang mga submissions, kahit po wala po yung court, pwede naman po namin tanggapin ang anumang submissions na ibibigay ng hanin ng taga-usig at saka hanin ng tagapagtanggol.
Two International Criminal Court judges are standing their ground, refusing to withdraw from the probe into former President Rodrigo Duterte's alleged crimes against humanity in relation to his deadly drug war. To recall, Judges Maria del Socorro Flores Liera and Rain Alapini Gansu had earlier signed off on moving the ICC case forward, including possible warrants and summons. Duterte's legal team claims the judges' actions show perceived bias and continues to question the ICC's jurisdiction. In a memo, the two judges denied any bias, saying Duterte's camp failed to show proof to disqualify them. The final decision now lies with the ICC plenary, with a confirmation of charges hearing set for September 23.
It's possible that former Congressman Arnie Teves' days in Timor-Leste are numbered. That's after Teves was arrested Tuesday night, but his son Axel says his father was forcibly taken by authorities, with the ex-lawmaker's legal team claiming the arrest was carried out illegally.
We, the family, including my father, is calling out to UN human rights, and I personally am calling to every department all over the world. Please help us.
Teves is facing a series of murder charges for allegedly masterminding the killing of his political rival, Negros Oriental Governor Roel Degamo, back in March 2023. The Justice Department says it is willing to cooperate for the transfer of the murder suspect's custody, but Justice Secretary Boying Remulla says they have yet to receive such notice from the Timor-Leste government.
We're exhausting all remedies possible because the notion that we have a death penalty to implement in this country is really crazy. There's no basis for the decision. So it's obvious that some people are making money out of this.
Meantime, Representative Janice Degamo, wife of the slain governor, is hoping that Arnie Teves will be returned to the Philippines as soon as possible. She said the case is ongoing and they will be called again to the witness stand once Teves returns.
I hope po after the arrest, he will really be brought back home and be made answerable to the crimes committed sa husband ko along with the others who died with him po. Sana po talagang totoo na yun na maiuwi po talaga siya in the country po para maharap niya yung charges against him.
An economist warns the 2-year EDSA rehabilitation project could come at a steep price. Ateneo's Center for Economic Research Director Percival Reyes says the EDSA rebuild will cause mobility restrictions and cost trillions of pesos in economic impact.
So all told, the daily losses, if you add them all up, and they run in the billions, by the way, if you add them all up in 1 year, they actually can't outweigh GDP growth. So that's how big it is. It can range trillions and even be greater than GDP growth. But beyond a certain threshold, congestion begins to become a drag on growth. Specifically, if your congestion gets to be worse than 35 to 37 hours of delay per commuter per year, okay, that will have an effect on your economy.
In world news, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Hamas Gaza chief Mohammed Sinwar had been eliminated. Sinwar had been the target of an Israeli strike on a hospital in southern Gaza earlier this month. Netanyahu said the Hamas leader was most likely killed on a May 21 attack. Mohammed is one of Israel's most wanted and is the younger brother of the deceased group leader Yahya Sinwar. Hamas has yet to confirm the militant leader's death. U.S. President Donald Trump still on a bitter row with Harvard University. In his latest statement, Trump said the Ivy League school needs to have a 15% cap on the number of foreign students it admits. The Republican president also said Harvard should show the administration a current list of their students from other countries.
These countries aren't helping us. They're not investing in Harvard and all of our, we are. So why would 31%? Why would a number so big? I think, number one, I think they should have a cap of maybe around 15%, not 31%. We have people who want to go to Harvard and other schools. They can't get in because we have foreign students there. But I want to make sure that the foreign students are people that can love our country.
Over in sports, a new chapter could be on the horizon for former top rookie Mikey Williams in the PBA. A report by Spin.ph says the TNT Tropang 5G is sending Williams to Converge Fiber Xers in exchange for sharpshooter Jordan Heading. The deal is now awaiting final approval from the Commissioner's office. Williams helped TNT to championships in the 2021 Philippine Cup and 2023 Governor's Cup, earning finals MVP honors in both runs. But the 33-year-old hasn't suited up since 2023, amid a contract dispute that eventually led to it being terminated through TNT, though rather, TNT retains his rights. Heading the top pick in the 2020 Gilas Special Draft, only made his PBA debut last year with the Converge Fiber Xers, but has been sidelined in the ongoing Philippine Cup due to a recurring back issue. Now off to the NBA playoffs, the Indiana Pacers are on the verge of entering the finals. The Pacers took down the New York Knicks in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals, 130-121. Tyrese Halliburton showing New York it's all about the game and how you play it. Hallie had a flawless performance with a triple-double, 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 15 assists with 0 turnovers. The Indiana Yes Sirs led the conference final series 3-1. The Pacers can punch their ticket to the finals in Game 5 when the series returns to the Big Apple on Friday, May 30, Philippine time. Now from the hard court, let's shift to the tennis clay court in France. Iga Swiatek and Carlos Alcaraz are still on track for their title defenses at the French Open. The Spanish champion and his 5th Grand Slam title overall will face Bosnia's Damir Zumhur.
In a major shakeup in the beauty industry, drugstore makeup brand e.l.f. is acquiring model Hailey Bieber's makeup and skincare brand Rhode for $1 billion. The deal gives the budget cosmetics company a footing in the beauty market with a brand that's taken off among Gen Zs and millennials. Bieber's viral products and social media influence have fueled Rhode's success since its 2022 launch, with sales hitting $212 million. Hailey will stay on as Chief Creative Officer and Head of Innovation of Rhode, as well as Strategic Advisor to e.l.f. Beauty. And in entertainment, an ambitious matchmaker finds herself torn between the perfect match and her imperfect ex. Here's a new look at the upcoming rom-com Materialists, starring Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal.
You know what? We have Coach V, our dating expert here on the show. And if there was a Pinoy version of this, she's the first person I thought of, by the way.
Yeah,
First person.
This is like Coach V, the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Now the question is...
Hollywood version of Coach V.
By the way, I don't have no idea about her love life. But so I'm never going to
malay
assume.
mo, she has had this kind of situation before. We should ask her.
Ito yung tanong ko. What would you name the movie if it starred Coach V? Like if it were about her. It had to... Love Hacks the movie. No pwede It had to be you.
Pwede.
Could it be?
Could it be? I love Could it be.
Oh, I don't know. So for any suggestions and violent reactions, at Dating Coach V po yung
if you guys,
nyo.
If you guys want to suggest a title for her own materialist version of a movie.
Yeah.
But this is so exciting. I mean, you put together Chris Evans and Pedro Pascal together. I wish Mo was here kasi hindi ka makarelate sa kilig ko eh.
No, I'm so happy Mo's not here at the moment. But it's really great to see them together. I mean, like, because Pedro Pascal's also doing a Marvel movie, but then I think Chris Evans not doing it anymore. So sayang hindi sila But I mean, like, it's just they're two of some of the biggest stars, and it's nice to see rom-coms coming back with bigger stars as well.
I know, so exciting. So we have these superhero movies coming up, and then we also have live adaptations, right? And now we have rom-coms. So there's a lot to look forward to in the cinemas this year.
Grabe,
so we should watch.
And it seems very much a classic. Now, up next, a new social scene in the metro is changing the game for party culture, but forget about hangovers and morning after regrets. Who wrote that? Imagine a rave culture fueled purely by caffeine and good vibes. That story after the break. Don't go away. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. And welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Now, a new social scene is taking the interest of Gen Zs and even millennials wanting to have fun while balancing adulting. Hirap nun, no? Catch this. Coffee rave culture is the new talk of the town for responsible drinkers. Literally. Joining us this morning, community event specialist and business owner DJ Mara. It's a beautiful day, DJ Mara. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me too.
All right, so let's start off first with this whole concept of coffee rave culture because I've seen it all over my socials, all over the world really. Minsan sobrang aga, sometimes in the middle of the afternoon. But the common theme is that you can go to sleep early because you start early and you're not affected the next day. So how did you run into this idea? Where, and of course, how did you get started?
Yeah, I'd like to say peer pressure. So when 404 Not Found was open, a lot of friends, especially as a DJ, a lot of the DJ community, they're like, check this out, look at this, Mara, you should do something like this. You have a coffee, you have a coffee shop, take advantage of it. And at first I was concerned because as far as I know, it might have never been done before. I mean, we've seen it everywhere. So if it's never been done before, it's just trial and error. Where do we get started? How do we get started? And so one day we just picked up a pen and go like, okay, let's do this on the 16th of March. So a couple DJs and I were like, okay, let's see how it goes and let's find out later on what happens. So when the first coffee rave started, it was just mainly all about the music. We just wanted it to be that way. Then we then realized that actually people were having fun, they were chilling. Like you mentioned, it's usually around 8 in the morning in other parts of the world. But us, I mean, if we have the choice as Filipinos, we don't want to wake up that early, which is why 3 p.m. was the sweet spot. Yeah. So then when we started, it was a bit of a late crowd. People were really interested in it because they're like, oh, we don't have to break the bank. We don't have to spend a lot. And at the same time, we didn't want to take away the alcohol side because people kind of like to day drink. So, yeah.
Ito.
Yes. So we're like, oh, okay. So we see that even though the concept looked the same, we kind of do it differently here in the country. And in the beginning, we were worried because it was just maybe 20, 30 people. But after the third coffee rave, which was a collaboration with Anya and Camille, a fashion company, it went very natural. People just got up and got their fans and just started dancing in front of the the bar or the AK DJ booth, which was literally how I envisioned it to be when we were when we were scrolling. We're like, that's it, we figured it out. So yeah, the idea was 3 p.m. Don't take away the alcohol. So it's day drinking, still no crazy hangovers. And at the same time, we still see that it won't break the bank. So that's the selling point of it.
How often do you have these coffee rave parties?
Bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly, okay. So let's talk about, the people who attend. How has the reception been? And what are the kind of, people who go? Kasi we mentioned Gen Zs and millennials, but I feel that this can also cater to the Gen X. Kasi, wait, hold on. This is my point.
Represent.
Because the titas, they don't really want to go home late. Diba? Maaga silang antukin. They get sleepy agad. So doesn't this cater also to the Gen Xers?
Yes, actually, I love the Gen Xers because there are There are bigger spenders. I mean, they still treat it like a
Wow,
club. Yeah, they would
Paolo.
buy bottles. They feel like they have bottle services there and they're having a good time. They're chilling. They don't have to worry about, oh, young people around me. Oh, it's a club. It's so noisy, bright lights and overstimulation. They love it, actually. So, yeah, why not? Hopefully you can go.
Big spenders.
Oh yeah, so in other words, kapag pumunta tayo, ikaw manglilibre.
Mukhang.
Oo nga, mukhang ganon.
I feel like.
Yeah, but apart from the demographic, I mean, like obviously it's fit for more than just the Gen Z and the millennials. But then, okay, let's be completely frank. Back when I was younger, I probably wouldn't be going to these types of situations. Why do you think that the afternoon coffee rave, alcohol or not alcohol, is becoming more of a thing, especially considering me personally, I felt that it was because the pandemic really stopped people from going to the clubs, and there's a whole generation who went away from the whole clubbing bar culture thing, and then all of a sudden you have this.
Yeah, a really good question. So I think we're all just looking for something different. Everybody just wants to meet someone. Everybody wants to have fun, have a good time, wants to listen to music in a big space, want to meet new people, want to take their friends out, and communities such as the LGBT and all that, which are also makes our main and biggest demographic for our coffee raves. They want to feel, inclusive. They want to feel somewhere where they belong. And I think coffee raves give that energy. It just gives that vibe of something different, something new.
Music is very important in events like this, right? And you're a DJ. How do you create your set for a party like this? Kasi syempre, I feel like iba yung music.
Does it sound
when you're-
different?
Oo,
Like,
when you're
in the
clubbing,
evening, in the
like
afternoon?
How different is the music in an afternoon setting?
Interesting. So when I host these events, to be honest, I try not to DJ because I'm super tired. I try to, and I got this attention span for 10 minutes. So because it's more community driven, we did this. We're famous for our open decks. So a lot of DJs who want to feel what it's like to play in front of people, and also other DJs who haven't done so in a while, they all come in and play whatever they want. So we've heard hip hop. We've heard some people would play techno up to really high BPM at a certain hour, and they're vibing to it. Yeah. It's like I think it's all a shared experience for everyone. Whatever they want to hear, they just kind of accept whatever genre they hear.
Okay.
So I guess it's pretty open.
Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. That's so interesting. No, because I have a couple of DJs to refer from. Yeah, but when we talk about the coffee raves and the reception that you guys been getting, you mentioned it's been growing. I mean, like, do you have any more plans for further growth, considering the success that you guys have found? Maybe a bit more frequent, maybe something on a bigger space. What plans do you have on dock?
I think people should do it more because we're starting to see growth on other coffee raves around the city. We've seen some in Alabang, we've seen some in Marikina, and we thought, wow, finally. We've even seen as far as Cavite, and we thought, people should keep doing this. I mean, we love our small space, but at the same time, we want a variety. We want the community to kind of like club hop in a way from other coffee shops. So I think we should all just, as much as possible, if this is what you want to do, if you want to host your coffee rave, go for it.
That's so good, because can you imagine, Anne, mag-club hopping tayo, magbakati muna tayo, then Etivac right after.
Pwede, right?
Kaya naman.
And you're not gonna worry because the party starts at 3 p.m. So you can get home maybe 9?
But I think the other ones start earlier as well. I think there are some that start really early.
I actually saw a reel where they partied at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And doon ko nga nakita yung mga Gen X, they're like, ooh, dancing and everything.
Oh,
like
then
at
after that,
8 a.m.
trabaho na ako.
But let's talk more about, the community that you've built through these coffee raves. You've mentioned a while ago that you've observed, even if you play techno music at 3 in the afternoon, people still vibe to it, right? What are the other things that you've observed from, your party goers, your audience?
People like meeting new people. So I've seen, some people started finding people they want to date.
it's become
Communities starting to cross.
Okay.
So you see everybody's kind of separate. It's kind of like you see in the club. There's so many, groups of friends, small group of friends in their own table, minding their own business. But Coffee Rave seems to not have that. They seem to cross, and I think that's pretty interesting. To grow your own community, grow your own network. Your network is your net worth. So then, if you're trying to grow your own business, you're an entrepreneur, you want to launch a new idea, then I think gatekeeping isn't the best thing to do it. I think you should learn from other generations, other type of communities, and other different age groups, different passions, and you can learn a thing or two from everybody.
Oh, that's super interesting because especially what you mentioned a while ago that it feels like it's gosh, I feel like a dinosaur talking about this. But when you go to clubs before, when you go to Rebel, Republic,
it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
I feel
No,
like
because-
if you put a party in the afternoon.
No, because it's so hard to get to mingle with other groups that you see in the clubs.
Yeah.
One, you can't really see them. Two,
Exactly.
two, normally it's a bit louder in the sense that it's harder to communicate. But it feels like the spaces that you create, it actually encourages communication rather than the music becoming a barrier. Is that a fair assessment of that?
Yes, that's exactly spot on, correct.
And when you take a look at the volume, the music that you have, I know you don't. It's really open. That it's not really curated when it comes to that. But then, are there any surprises when it comes to the taste of music for this particular time frame? Because again. Using a term that I haven't used in a while, kapag gabi kasi, palong-palo ako dati.
Palong-palo.
Like yung mga, kasi you're slapping the air. Kaya palong-palo, diba? You're giving high five to 1,000 angels.
Do your party goers do that at 30 p.m.?
Is that the vibe that you have, or is it the more chill one, where in general, because I know it changes from time to time. Is it in general na may hawak kang drink and then you're swaying more often than not, and then having a nice conversation, having that connection?
Our DJs seem to know what they're doing, which is trust the DJs, and they seem to read the vibe. I'm surprised even those who have never DJed before in bigger spaces, they seem to just read their vibe, read their friends, especially the open decks.
I understand,
they bring in their own set of friends, so then they just cheer for them, and it changes the whole energy of the room. So when it gets a little later, like say after 6 or up till 8 p.m., they will start to play the top 40, all the hard kind of music, high BPM.
Yeah.
And it seems to work at that time. And I think they understand that, okay, nothing crazy at this certain hour. I also make sure to brief the DJs as well beforehand, like, okay, look, people are still kind of easing into it. And I think we're all just okay with each other.
That's so good. That's so good. I coffee rave.
Coffee rave,
Yeah,
go!
we're our color scheme is coffee today, so it makes sense. Pagbalik ni Mo, we'll go have a coffee or we'll
Dapat siya
find your
manlibre,
schedule.
galing siyang Italy.
Hindi kami libre, ikaw yung Gen X.
naman.
Ikaw yung nagsabi.
Ako yung
Ikaw yung nagsabi na, we spend. Gumanyan ka ba? We spend.
It was just Mara's observation, right, Mara? Yeah.
She'll treat us to all of that. She'll give you good business. And with that, DJ Mara, maraming salamat. Thank you so much for coming on
for
over.
having me.
Yeah, and again, you can check them out also on their social media pages. I've been flashing it all throughout the show.
Thank you, Mara. Now, Rabies is once again a conversation starter online following a viral incident in Laguna. The doctor is in as we take a look at this disease after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Hi there and welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. People are talking about rabies once again following a viral incident in Laguna where a man died from the disease almost a year after he was reportedly bitten by a dog. What can we do to help prevent its spread? Let's go find out. Joining us is Dr. Janina Suzette Guillermo, owner of JG Medical Clinic and Animal Bite Center. It's a beautiful day. Doc, welcome to the show. How do I call you? Doc JG?
Yeah,
Doc JG. I love it. Parang yung DJ lang kanina, no? Kasi now it sounds like a DJ name, Doc JG. But anyway, this is such an interesting topic because I am a pet lover. I have a lot of cats. I have like 10 to 12 cats in my house, and I always get bitten. I've had the rabies, what do you call that? Rabies injection, vaccine, so many times already in my lifetime. So, for the sake of our viewers, what is rabies, and paano ba ito ina-affect yung humans?
Yeah. For the viewers, para mas maka-engage, you establish na lang. Rabies is a zoonotic disease. When we say zoonotic, disease din siya ng animals. It's something that they can be also infected but can be also transferred to us. Many people think that it's inborn with animals like kittens, puppies. They think that it's automatically rabid. So it's not. It's also their disease. Sadly, it can be passed to us through bites or scratches. So the rabies, it's a virus. No, it's not a bacteria. So antibiotics won't work once we get bitten or scratched. The ultimate target of the virus is to get to the brain, but not here. The brain starts here. It's within our nerves, the peripheral nervous system. That's why it's very important to get vaccinated ASAP, because once the rabies sets into the nerves, makapasok lang siya sa ugat. Once you feel that numbness, it's too late already. That's how aggressive rabies is, because they thought, kailangan makarating sa utak before you feel it's too late, but it's not. As early as you feel the numbness here, which many think na hindi common, but it's common, it's already rabies po.
Doc, ano yung mga common misconceptions ng rabies? Kasi we've talked about it. It feels like for infinity na kailangan may rabies shot, kailangan na may mga government programs really preventing rabies or at least raising awareness about rabies. Pero ano yung mga common misconceptions that you find yourself correcting more often than not?
First is, they thought that rabies is inborn with animals. That's one. Number two is, they thought that they have to get bitten or scratched before taking the shot. But did you know that just this year, in the pediatric 2025 guidelines, we update as doctors, they are incorporating in the baby book na that it is a must to be injected with anti-rabies vaccine as early as 2 years old, with or without pets. It's generally safe. It's like taking the flu shot. You don't wait for the flu, you don't wait for the chicken pox, you don't wait for anything, for any disease. You just get the shot and it's perfectly safe. So that's the second misconception. They thought, kailangan makagat ako tsaka ako magpapashot.
Right.
But pwede ka pong magpa-vaccine right away and you don't get any side effects. It's just the same as other vaccines. Other misconception, here in provinces area po, they thought na pag nakagat na kalmot ka, making it bleed is parang katumbas nun lalabas din yung virus.
Like taking out the
but it's different.
venom or
Rabies is
something.
very, very microscopic. Once it sets in, it's in. Hindi siya mapapalabas like parang kakatas na parang venom. Hindi siya sasama sa blood. So once it's in, hindi nyo po mapapalabas yun. So wag nyo nang saktan yung sarili nyo or anything else. Rabies, yun po yung mga so far nakikita kong misconception.
But you know what, timing, I know that timing is very critical.
Very important.
Pagka nakagat ka ng, or na-scratch ka ng cat or dog. Kasi merong kasabihan, na pag nakagat ka, wait for 14 days and then observe the dog. Pwede daw na wag ka munang magpa-shot and then wait for is that, true? I mean, reliable ba yung ganitong klaseng way?
For me, mali yun. I always tell to my patients na vaccine muna before observe. We have so many cases, syempre pet, in denial. Sabihin nila, na inside lang naman, hindi lumalabas. So, observe. However, lo and behold, during the 11th day of observation, the pet suddenly died. And then, coincidental naman, nagka-sore throat, nag-fever. So parang nagkaroon na nagpanic na yung patient kasi nag-fever siya, namatay yung dog. So very coincidental. They thought na it's too late to get the vaccine. For
Okay.
peace of mind na lang din. And what we always say, vaccine right away before you start observing the pet. Because
Right,
you'll never
right.
know what will happen in those 14 days po.
So ano yung advice mo about what should be done immediately after a bite or a scratch na especially kahit hindi naman suspect na rabies, but what would you suggest?
First is wash the wound talaga. Wash the wound with soap and water, running water. Maling ginagawa ng most, and to our viewers, no, please wag yung paduguin. Many talaga pinipilit nila, sinasuction pa nila, sinaslice nila. Don't do that. Just wash it. Just wash with soap and water. Then clean the wound, pack the wound if necessary, if it's too big, and then go to the nearest clinic or hospital near you. There are also free vaccines nearby sa mga centers, and there are hospitals po offering it. So don't hesitate kasi sadly, as of now, there's no cure pa rin for rabies.
How many doses are required in the anti-rabies vaccine series, Doc?
Ito ata yung naging hit because of the case.
Yes, kasi di ba hindi niya natapos yung series of
Series.
vaccines niya, and then the patient died.
Yes.
So how many?
Anti-rabies vaccine is very weird vaccine. Hindi siya yung one shot the next year na. Or di ba, most
right.
vaccines kasi pagka-shot mo, see you next year. So anti-rabies vaccine, it's a series of shots. 4 to 5, but as what we say, at least 3 sessions before it takes effect po. 3 sessions, and it's consecutive of days lang eh. Hindi siya yung balik ka ng 1 week, 2 weeks. No, it's 0, 3, and 7 days. As fast as that, at least makomplete mo yun for you to have an initial protection po for rabies.
And of course, yung incident that yung nag-viral,
Yes.
ang haba ng time frame niya.
Yeah.
I think almost around a year.
A year.
August 2024 ata. When we take a look at yung timeline na yon, can you explain siguro yung incubation period or any explanation kung bakit yan nangyari in terms of like yung timeline na yan?
Okay. Rabies is one of the virus that has a long incubation period. When we say incubation period, it is the time it took for you to develop symptoms from the day of exposure. So for that case, it was 9 months. But I have seen patients 1 to 5 years pa. What was the longest recorded? Yes. My previous patient was bitten in the thigh. Then he showed symptoms after 1 year pa. 1 year exactly. So, those happen po sa rabies cases. But the longest recorded was 7 years. How did that happen? We can also explain. For some reasons, the nearer you are to the target organ or to the brain, kunyari, na-scratch ka, na-bite ka sa face, the faster it is. So, mas asap, di ba, yung mga ginagawang regimen or treatment. But the farther you are, the farther din or the longer yung incubation period. But I think for that case, yung patient was bitten on the foot. So it took 9 months. So that would explain the distance na ginugol ng rabies virus before it reaches the brain. So the distance also
But you
affects.
said, Doc, that it starts when it hits your nerves. Diba? So does it make a difference if you're bitten sa leg or you're bitten somewhere nearer to your head, but it reaches the nerves really fast?
When it reaches the nerves, it's already in there. So even if kunyari, nag-bite siya August 2024, but if the virus got in ng mga around December pa, December, dun pa lang siya lalakad pataas. That's why December, yung timeline ngayon, May, baka nung May, nung nasa loob na siya ng brain, dun lang po siya nagka-symptoms.
My question might sound too dark, too gloomy for a morning show, but when is it too late already?
As early as numbness. No, we call it
When you feel that numbness.
The numbness. That's one of the first and consistent symptom of rabies. Numbness to the part where you got bitten or scratched.
Okay.
Most patients complain it as uric acid. I have patient talaga, Doc, I have uric. She keeps on doing that. So upon checking the labs, walang uric. Then after few days, nagfe-fever. And then I probe further. Because hindi namang rabies yung chinecheck ko. So upon probing further sa history, she was bitten like 3 months ago. Puppy lang. And then the puppy, hindi naman nila nakita. Parang gala-gala lang. So, kinausap ko yung family after few days, fever, pinadala namin sa well-known institution. And then, Yeah, yun na yung diagnosis. It's progressive eh. When we say progressive, once the symptoms set in, pamamanhid, tuloy-tuloy na, hindi na siya nawawala. Mag-fever na, then makikita mo na yung classic symptoms, fear of water, fear of light, fear of air. So, sunod-sunod na yun until they die po. Ganon siya. Kaya medyo nakakatakot and nakakapanik yung rabies because the initial symptoms were very non-specific. Okay. When we say non-specific, it could be anything. Fever could be also a sore throat or a UTI. Yeah. But fever can be also rabies. And then the paresthesia, we can't explain, especially nowadays. Many are suffering from anxiety. Yun nga lang, you have to talk and to probe the history properly para ma-eliminate mo if it's truly a case of rabies or it's just another episode of anxiety.
I think you just gave Anne an episode of anxiety right now. Kasi sabi niya kanina right before, ang dami kong pusa, nakakatawa palagi.
Hindi, that's the reason why I rush to the animal center talaga all the time. Kahit scratch lang. Yun nga, I feel like another misconception is, sasabihin nila, kalmot lang naman eh, so I don't need to get an injection. But kailangan even when you're scratched, or do you have to wait na it bleeds?
No.
Not necessarily.
We are very aggressive here sa Philippines. They say, no, not me, the Department of Health issued rabies is endemic here in the Philippines. When we say endemic, meaning the chances of getting rabies when bitten by a dog or a cat that came from the Philippines is quite high. Yeah. So, our guideline, as long as you were scratched, kahit nga namula lang, they want you to get the vaccine. Hindi na kailangan mag-bleed.
So again, this feels like it's important to talk about rabies and of course yung awareness.
Yes.
Yeah. When you talk about yung awareness drives, when it comes to rabies prevention and of course vaccination drives, what would you say to people who are siguro not too familiar with rabies to one, introduce them to the concept and at the same time to take this matter seriously and not to be too fearful kasi I could imagine some people be like, okay, let's avoid animals, let's not be, or maybe ostracize na yung mga animals when it comes to that. Kahit aso, we're not talking about ostriches, ostrich. Anyway, when you look at all of that, how would you address it?
So what I always say, the rising cases of rabies here in the Philippines is highly on the side of humans because of irresponsible pet ownership. I'm not a veterinarian, but we can see the track. When we adopt or when we buy pets, then we don't neuter and spay, they just, dumadami lang sila outside. And then pag dumadami po sila outside, they tend to get other diseases din. So yun yung problem natin nowadays na dumadami po yung stray. So what I tell to my patients and to our viewers po na be responsible and kasama ng pagiging responsible bukod sa neutering and spaying is to get them vaccinated.
Right.
And the common misconception is that if vaccinated ng hayop, okay nang hindi magpa-vaccine si human. That's so wrong.
Kaya sabay kayo.
Dapat. It goes both ways po because it's very fatal. It's fatal for them, it's fatal for us. So get the vaccine even if pet mo yan, even if confident ka na vaccinated. Of course, it decreases the risk naman of getting infected. But to be sure, to be 100% safe, get the vaccine for you and get the vaccine for your pet and be responsible pet owners po tayo.
How often do you need to get vaccinated, Doc? Yung efficacy? Like, do we have to have it yearly?
No, it depends po. Once you get the 3 shots, I have a previous interview, I taught this to my viewers. We remember the number 3.
Okay.
At least 3 shots of anti-rabies vaccine is, remember, good for 3 years. So within those 3 years, you can get booster shots if you were bitten or scratched. How often do you get booster shots? Every 3 months, you can get booster shots because our blood po ay nagpapalit every
Even if you're
year.
not bitten?
Yes, you can get booster shots, especially if you are at risk with animals, no, mga rescuers, vet, groomers, or simply animal lovers. You can get the booster shots every 3 months. So rule of 3 sessions for 3 years, and then booster shot every 3 months.
Yeah. Wow, such an informative conversation.
Diretso siya sa'yo after this for vaccine and booster.
Nakaka-panic kaya, like if you don't complete the list of vaccines.
Yeah, the rule of 3.
Di ba you have a card? No nga I complete all 5. Natatakot ako as a 3. But anyway, Doc, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Doc JG, Dr. Janina Suzette Guillermo, owner of JG Medical Clinic and Animal Bite Center. Thank you,
Salamat,
Doc.
Doc. Really appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Now, we've got more stories for you, plus our horoscope of the day with Master Hans Kua after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. This is Weather HQ. Now, as temperatures soar across the country, this tag-init causes hypertension. The cases of hypertension, or high blood pressure are becoming a growing concern. Now, extreme heat can trigger serious complications for those with this silent yet dangerous condition, especially for outdoor workers and commuters. Now, to help us understand the risks and how to stay safe, we're joined via Zoom by Dr. Glenn Sayat. Magandang umaga, Doc Glenn, and welcome to It's a Beautiful Day.
Good morning po, Sir Paolo.
All right, Doc, let's get right into it. When we talk about hypertension, it feels like a relatively common problem dito sa Pilipinas. Ano yung mga common causes nito? And of course, why are people always concerned kapag sinasabi natin na hypertensive sila?
Okay, yung hypertension po, it is usually triggered by both genetics and of course our lifestyle, no? Sa ating mga Filipinos, no, it is primarily driven by our lifestyle, no, yung diet na mataas sa asin, no, pagkain ng mga processed meats, no, saka fast food, tapos yung sedentary lifestyles, no, kung kulang sa physical activity, tapos yung iba meron pang mga bisyo, no, smoking, excessive alcohol intake, no, so kung merong sa lahi, no, ng nasa genetics yung hypertension, of course mas mas lumalabas talaga siya pag yung lifestyle mo talagang hindi maganda.
Doc, lately, yung mga heat index po natin, grabe talaga. Extreme heat situations in various provinces and various cities na talagang marami nagsasabi that really affect yung bodies natin from a physiological aspect. For those who are hypertensive or mga classified na hypertensive, normally, what does this problem exacerbate sa mga symptoms nila?
Actually, yung high heat temperature, initially, magda-dilate yung mga blood vessels natin. So, bababa yung blood pressure. Pero kung prolonged na yung heat exposure, dehydration, electrolyte imbalances, doon na nagkakameron ng paradoxical spike in the blood pressure. No? So, bumibilis yung heart rate, tapos na-strain yung cardiovascular system. So, for hypertensive patients, no, doon nagkakameron ng mga heat exhaustion, hypertensive crisis. So, yung body's response to heat, no, yun yung nag-a-amplify ng cardiovascular risk.
Unfortunately, as a fact of life na a lot of Filipinos work outdoors or commute having to go outdoors in the sweltering hot conditions. Nakita natin kahit dito sa Metro Manila na yung transport situation from one place to another, especially when you're chasing certain deadlines or certain times to get to work, talagang relatively very stressful when it comes to that. Normally, ano yung advice mo to people who cannot avoid yung mga high temperature situations, high stress environments when it comes to commuting to work or actually working outdoors?
Yes, Sir Paolo, totoo yan, no, yung mga outdoor workers, saka yung mga commuters, no, long distance commuters, no, they are exposed to continuous heat exposure. Tapos, so mas increase yung fluid loss nila, no? So yung dapat nilang gawin, magkameron sila ng proper hydration, tsaka magpahinga, magpalamig kung talagang sobrang mainit pa, no? So yun, dapat lagi talagang may baon na water, no? Magdala sila palagi. At saka kung talagang mainit na mainit, yun, magpa-aircon muna sila, magpahinga sila dun sa malamig na lugar muna.
O, pasok kayo sa mall, diba? Para magpalamig muna. Pero,
Yes po.
pero apart from that, you've mentioned it over and over again, yung hydration, yung kailangan magdala ng tubig. I feel that in terms of hydration, some people would suggest that, may tamang paraan para mag-hydrate. Hindi pwede mga sweet drinks or sugary drinks or things of that nature. Pero when you recommend people to stay hydrated, what is the best way to hydrate yourself, especially during extreme heat scenarios?
Siyempre yung hydration po, crucial, no? Because yung dehydration, no, it can cause our blood to be more concentrated, no? Kaya mas tumataas yung BP, mas nai-strain yung heart natin, no? So yung mga hypertensive patients, no, should aim for at least 8 to 10 glasses of water, no? Or even more kung talagang mainit, no? Pero kung may mga conditions like merong heart disease or kidney problems, no? So doon namin ini-individualize kung ano yung bagay sa pasyente, no? So ano naman sa mga drinks, no? Siyempre avoid yung mga sugary drinks, yung mga soft drinks, yung may mga excessive na caffeine, no? Yung mga coffee, ganyan, kasi mas nag-worsen pa yung dehydration. So, syempre, pag nagpapawis tayo, yung mga electrolytes natin, so, nawawala din yan during these events, no? So, mas maganda yung may mga konting electrolytes, yung mga drinks na
iklaro lang natin, Doc, kasi minsan yung mga ibang tao, kapag mainit, mag-ice coffee muna tayo. Not the best way to stay hydrated, just to be clear.
Yes po. Yes po, kasi diuretic yung kape po eh. So mas lalo kang iihi.
Okay. Pero Doc, yung we mentioned also yung high temperatures also affecting, we also say that it affects yung hydration natin, like what we need to do, we have to be better at hydrating. Pero for those already under medication, especially sa mga hypertensive patients, do doctors have to consider yung high heat situations right now when it comes to treating patients with hypertension, considering there's so many more environmental factors that feels like we have to take account for?
Yes po, yung mga hypertensive patients, lalo na they are on medication, so mas maganda na ma-check pa rin sila, no? Kasi bisa ina-adjust din namin yung mga medications kasi yung iba kasi naka-diuretic eh. So may mga pampaihi sila yung mga heart failure patients. So mas maganda pa rin na ma-check natin sila, no, sa clinic para ma-advisean kung ano yung maganda para sa kanila.
Doc, as a medical professional, when we take a look at yung awareness of hypertension, especially when it comes in relation to yung extreme heat scenarios that we have been facing recently. Hydrating right now, galing. But Doc, what do you feel is the gap of knowledge when it comes to hypertension for the common Filipino? And of course, when it comes to in relation to yung mga environmental factors that can contribute to hypertension?
Yung awareness natin, medyo limited pa rin, no? So, yung may mga Filipinos, no, na hindi pa din masyadong nare-realize na meron silang hypertension, no, meron na silang, minsan may mga end organ damage na yung iba, hindi lang talaga nakakapagpa-check, no. So, yeah, I think we need stronger campaigns, no, siguro mga barangay health workers, social media, to emphasize, no, yung, yan, lalo na't mainit, no, yung hydration, yung medication adherence, saka na makapagpa-check yung mga kapwa natin Filipino. So, it's not just about heat din kasi, no, it's about the heat effects, no, on those people with chronic conditions.
Dr. Glenn Sayat, maraming salamat. Thank you for joining us this morning and reminding us all to stay hydrated. You drinking water kanina was actually perfect visuals for the message that we're trying to send. Maraming salamat, Dr. Glenn.
Maraming salamat po and good morning po ulit.
Good morning. Thank you so much. Now, that's it for Weather HQ at the moment. And back to you.
Thank you so much, Pao. Now, eto na, guys. It's today going to be your lucky day or not. Let's go find out from resident energizer and feng shui master Hans Kua in our horoscope of the day. Take it away, Master Hans.
Good morning! It's a beautiful day with me, Master Hans Kua. Ito po ang horoscope for today, Thursday, May 29. Para sa mga pinanganak ng Year of the Rat, iwasan ang pangungutang para sa mga hindi namang importanteng bilihin. Tial at 3. Kay Year of the Ox naman tayo, mag-invest sa skills upang mag-develop, lumawak lalo ang career opportunities. Crimson at 8. Sa Year of the Tiger naman tayo, build up your savings kahit paunti-unti, araw-araw. Azure at 6. Kay Year of the Rabbit naman tayo, mag-yoga or mag-meditate para sa inner peace. Tan at 1. Kay Year of the Dragon naman tayo, add green leafy vegetables sa diet para healthy. Gold at 5. Sa Year of the Snake naman tayo, ang sipag at tiyaga ay magbubunga ng tagumpay. Kaya, don't give up. Kaya mo yan! Vermilon at 9. Ito naman! Kay of the Horsey, magsimula ng maliit na negosyo base sa iyong passion. Pink at 4. Kay of the Ship naman tayo, ang trust at communication kay partner ang pundasyon ng matibay na relasyon. Copper at 2. Sa Year of the Monkey, matutong mag-invest sa real estate o maliit na negosyo para dagdag kita. Rasset at 7. Punta naman tayo kay Year of the Rooster, huwag matakot magbigay ng bagong idea sa opisina. Lavender at 8. Kay Year of the Dog naman tayo, be proactive sa work, ipakita ang potential mo. Magenta at 6. At kay Year of the Pig naman tayo, think long term, mag-focus sa pangmatagalang financial planning. Green at 3. Ako po, si Master Hans Kua. Paalala lang, ito po'y patnubay lamang. Ang tunay na swerte ay nagsisimula sa pagiging totoo. Abangan araw-araw ang horoscope of the day. Dito lang po sa It's a Beautiful Day!
Thank you so much, Master Hans Kua. Now, up next, naku, tong segment na to for Paolo to. You might think being guapo puts you on the top of the world. Little do others know, pogi boys like Paolo del Rosario here have problems too. Hashtag pogi problems. That conversation in today's Love Hacks after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. And welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Pogi problems. You either have it or you don't. In case you need some help, stick around for today's Love Hacks. Take it away, Coach V.
Love hacks, we got you. No need to be sad.
Good morning, loves. It's a beautiful day. Coach V here, bringing you a brand new way to level up your love life. Welcome to Love Hacks. Today, we are diving into a very serious but very rare problem. What if being guapo is your actual burden? Yep, that's right. Today, we're talking about the issues that comes with being a girl magnet and when being too fine becomes a problem for the public. Let us hear it from somebody who can relate to this dilemma. Pao?
I always get stares. Sa palengke, kalsada, bangketa, butika, grocery, etc. I'm handsome, pogi, gwapo sa paningin nila. Pag nagbabike ako, yun na mode of transportation ko for a long time since the pandemic, by the way. To the point na sobra na akong self-conscious. Tuwing nagbabike ako, lahat na tingin sa akin. Most of the time, as in. Some will say to me like, "Hi po," or bukod sa pag-hi, they actually physically wave at me. I know, mga nakatingin sa akin, nagpapakute, nakaka-conscious. I can smell na lang siguro, pero Hindi ako palangiti o ano. PS, I always wear face mask sa labas. Without face mask, I have similar reactions. Though, bawas na siguro dahil may konting mystery sa kagwapuhan ko behind the mask or mga 10% or less. By the way, hindi ako nagsulat nito Klaro ko lang po. Coach V, take it away.
O, di ba, even the N95 mask can't mask the pogi problems. Actually, galing talaga kay Pao to, pero secret.
Yeah, I have so much doubt with
Ang
you
laki-laki ng
not sending
problema ng taong to, mga ka-love hacks. Being attractive is actually a privilege, but it comes to, for people like Pao, nako, it comes with very weird problems. Wait, pasensya na, nagugulat ako sa episode natin ngayon But here's the thing science backs this up sa may mga pogi at ganda problems dyan. According to Dr. Lisa Walker, she is a sociologist at UNC. Attractive people get more attention everywhere, but they're also more likely to be misjudged, sexualized, or feel like they always have to be on, diba? It's called the halo effect. People assume when you're maganda kasi and pogi, people assume that you're not just hot, you're smart too, you're kind, you're dateable, you're rich, and emotionally available. Pero spoiler alert hindi naman lahat ng hot may ganong characteristics. Now, to be honest, it could get exhausting. Wow! Prepared tayo today.
Nakamask na, yan yun.
Yeah, so that was Pao when he was doing his palengke rounds. He didn't ask for the attention, but here you are getting side eyes with your bananas and sibuyas. Wow. Grabe naman mamalengke yan, nakasuit. According to a study published in Frontiers in Psychology, highly attractive people can feel socially objectified talaga or even isolated because others are often intimidated to have a real conversation. That leads to a strange combo of you have too much attention and you also have less authentic connection. Now, if you are a certified head turner, but here's some tips on how to handle those pogi problems. Number 1, look friendly but not flirty. A small nod and a polite smile is enough. You don't owe them a full charm to every stranger that you encounter. Number 2, own the gaze, but don't shrink from it. Confidence beats awkwardness. Assume na they're admiring you, not objectifying you. And remember, being admired is not the same as being available. Eto na, practice your RGF or resting guwapo face. A calm, composed look na hindi suplado pero hindi rin sobrang pa-cute. You're not a walking boy band poster. You are a human being just going to buy suka from the grocery. Number 4, be pogi smart, not pogi target. Some people kasi don't want you talaga. They just want the social capital of having you. So ask yourself, are they really connecting with me or they're just collecting me as a display? And number 5, don't feed the fantasy. If you're not interested, wag ka na masyadong magpa-good vibes. No lingering eye contact. No mga half smiles because this will be interpreted as pa-cute. As Harvard psychologist Dr. Cuddy says, presence without engagement creates intrigue. So let people admire you, but don't lead them on. Now let's ask, Pao, are you going through the similar problem in your life? How hard is this really? At nakarating siya sa love hacks.
Siya nga yung nag-send ng post na ito. May mask siya, picture with a mask. Siya yun.
Yeah, because it might be funny right now, but it is really a serious dilemma for other people. So walk us through.
Gosh, ang hirap talaga to walk us through this,
Yes,
no, but I think there are some people, humble kasi ako so I can't really relate.
Wow. Ayun na
Pero
yun.
there are some people na talagang feeling ko, alam nila na maganda sila o gwapo sila. And sometimes they avoid making connections because they feel na, they already know what that person wants, right? When it comes to yung social capital, oh my gosh, take that away. When it comes to social capital, when it comes to
diba?
Minsan, doon sa term, trophy girlfriend,
Trophy girlfriend or trophy
boyfriend.
boyfriend. Because you're right, Pao. Like, being good-looking is a value. So, di ba, kahit good-looking ka, kahit hindi ka magsalita, you are already adding value to your environment. So, for people who are very, very attractive, this is a problem.
Yeah.
How about you, Anne? Did you have some experience wherein, gusto ko lang naman, I just wanna walk in silence. Gusto ko lang mag-grocery in silence, but I don't wanna get those stares, and yet you get those.
Wala, I just ignore.
You just ignore.
Sometimes it does happen, di ba? Like when you go somewhere and then people just start looking, especially if you're dressed well, di ba? So, I don't know, you just get used to it and then you just ignore.
You do.
The funny
Hindi
thing.
siya problem for me. Ewan ko kay Pao.
It's like the funny part sometimes, like sometimes you're just walking around in the mall, then may nagpa-picture sa'yo, and then you could hear them and sino nga yan? Akala nila you're something.
Minsan magpapa-picture and everything.
Yeah, but
it's
Kasi this is not only pogi problems, it could be popular problems as well, di ba?
Actually, for some people, yeah.
For some people. Now, let me briefly share with you, I had a client actually in our company who was single, attractive, charming. So, when he goes to bars, girls would stare and talk to him, even in front of their boyfriends.
May experience kang ganyan.
So one time, he was almost punched by a husband who thought that he was flirting with his wife, when in reality, she was the one who slid her number into his jacket. So just imagine that. So, moral of the story, my loves, even if you are innocent, when you look like a leading man, you get cast into roles you did not audition for. Narinig ko, I think, Pao, you had a similar incident wherein you were in a bar and you mentioned, what was that? I forgot your story.
Hindi to pang TV. Sorry. No, but yeah.
naman si Pao, no?
But then there would be moments talaga wherein some people would not care na may partner ka. And they would aggressively go for you. Like girls, guys, I'm sure have that same problem in general. I think girls more often have that problem. But I think at the end of the day, it's also a test of yung trust and faith
loyalty.
and loyalty of each other's partners.
You are right. Because sometimes, kahit wala ka namang ginagawa, no, you can't stop people from admiring you from a distance. So, how do you handle admiration without making paasa? If you're going through this, here's your tips. Number 1, acknowledge but don't encourage. A smile says thank you. A wink says try me. So, keep it simple lang. Number 2, clarify boundaries early. If someone starts acting clingy or flirty, be respectful but be clear. You can say something like, nice to meet you po, but I'm not looking for anything right now. Importante yung po dun to communicate the fact that you're not interested. Number 3, avoid accidental leading on behavior. For example, when you compliment them too much, or you respond to all their stories, or yung playing the friendly guapo, it can only stir feelings you did not intend to start. 4, have a default deflector. You can say something like, my girlfriend says I'm not allowed to break hearts today. Sabihin mo na agad. Humor helps, but clarify seals it. And finally, 5, always choose real connection over random attention. Don't get drunk on admiration, my love, because choose people who are thirsty for your depth and not just for your face. Again, clarify mo na yung boundaries early on that you're not interested. Now, being good-looking is a gift, no? Pretty privilege is true. But how you use it, that is character. And the real flex is when people stay for your soul and not just your symmetry. That's it for today, loves. This is Coach V, giving you real talk about real love. DM us your poggy or ganda problems at Dating Coach V. And by the way, today's outfit is thoughtfully tailored by Masanting Sastria. Join me again next week and have a beautiful day. Love you.
You know what I do when there's someone who's being flirty with me, and then syempre kahit alam naman nila married na ako, and then magiging flirty pa, I always say, "Oh, thank you, kuya."
Kinukuya mo.
Yeah.
Ang
Thank
galing.
you,
That's a
kuya.
good strategy.
So nice of you, kuya. That's so sweet.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah, so kuya-fied ka.
Kuya. So you can do po, you can do kuya.
Yeah.
How about you, Pao? If there's a woman na hindi mo type or you want to communicate that you're not available, how do you say it? Ganun ang technique niya.
It's funny, ang hirap nun kasi if I call someone ate, parang disrespectful siya eh. Or po could be kung mas bata yung I mean,
Tita.
How do you deflect or how do you communicate the message na?
Siguro just be polite but then never lead on the questions kasi I think
Example, somebody tells you like, "Hey, you're really handsome."
Oh, thank you. That's it. I mean, you don't really have to admire. Ito yung skincare routine ko. And then, I'm not gonna follow it up with that. Diba?
I woke up like this.
Thank you. Ganun talaga sa umaga. But then, all right. First of all, wow, this segment was not written by me. I was not ready for anything that happened today. But Coach B, maraming salamat. We really appreciate you. I can guarantee you someone in Boracay, Miss MJ Aoki, is throwing stuff at her laptop right now watching this saying, "Tama!" or "Stop!" But anyway, thank you so much, Coach B. Really appreciate that. And that's it for us this Thursday, May 29. Ako po si Paolo del Rosario, simpleng tao po lamang. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, don't believe him, guys. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Thank you for making us your daily morning habit. Now, wherever this day takes you, remember to choose joy and spread kindness. Join us again tomorrow at 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. only here on
It's a Beautiful Day.